We're live? Awesome. Sorry for the short delay. We wanted to make sure this was perfect before we got it going to you guys. So thank you for tuning in to the Stitch House. I'm Jessica.
And I'm Brian.
And we have a live audience here watching us. Yay!
Hey, Bill, all the way from Roy City.
Yeah! Jamie and Bill came in and we are 6 feet apart from them, so we are doing just fine here. But we are so excited to show you our Handi Quilter product lineup. And for the first time, we're going to be able to tell you pricing as well, which is really cool. And then the other really cool thing that we have is Kelsey and Lisa available on the phone. So if you have questions while we're filming this, they will be able to answer the phone and answer any questions or take a message for you so that we can get back to you when this is done. So you can call the store 972-596-5628 and Lisa or Kelsey will answer and they will help you or get you in the right place so that we can help you as soon as this is over. So Handi Quilter is awesome, right?
I love Handi Quilter.
We did a really fun video for Handi Quilter a few days ago talking about pricing on our new website. And on our TV behind us is a picture of our Handi Quilter page. It's shopstitchhouse.com, where we have pricing for all of the machines we're going to be showing you right now located. Handi Quilter is running a special where it's up to $2,500 off. They're giving their show special pricing outside of a show. So typically when Handi Quilter goes to a quilt show like the Dallas Quilt Show that we could not have, they are able to offer lower pricing and include some really great things like free shipping and delivery to your home and all kinds of other extra goodies. So right now we have free shipping and delivery plus reduced pricing on these machines. And we're gonna show you all of our favorite things about the lineup of Handi Quilters. So we are so excited, right?
I'm very excited, and I wish that I was on the other side of it because I've never been able to buy long arms in my underwear, and now you actually have that opportunity to sit at home in your pajamas and still get the show pricing. So that's really exciting.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It is very true. And actually, can I complain for a second?
Oh.
I want to complain because we actually did shoot this really cool video a couple of days ago, and it was the first time that I was allowed to be on film. And we shot it 7 times. 7 times.
He's very long-winded.
Like every man, 7 times, right? 7. 7 inches. So what I wanted to complain about is that thank you. I had some great stuff in there, but we cut it off. And now on Facebook Live, so I get to have a little bit more of a long-winded explanation to what we're going to talk about. So, okay, am I done complaining?
And this is why Brian is not allowed on live videos. So I wanted to make sure if you're tuning in right now and you're on Facebook, Bill, you can laugh, it's okay. If you're tuning in right now and you're on Facebook, don't forget to visit our new website, shopstitchhouse.com. All the pricing that we're going to be talking about is on there. And I'm going to be showing you the first machine, so I'm really excited. Ooh. It is the Simply 16 from Handi Quilter. And this is a really great machine for a lot of reasons. So this machine here is considered a mid-arm by Handi Quilter. And a mid-arm is not necessarily a long arm, and it's also not the Capri that we're going to be showing you next. The machine still moves on this, and you are able to put any size quilt, which is really, really cool. So on this machine in particular, it takes up 5 feet by 3 feet of space. And, will you fix my can't download updates thing? It takes up 5 feet by 3 feet of space. Maybe go to the Capri on our webpage too. So you don't have to have too much space in your house, but the way it works is you've got these awesome clamps that go onto the machine. So what we have on the machine right now is our full quilt sandwich. This is my top part of my fabric, my batting, and we use black batting, so it's kind of hard to see that I have black batting on here, and then the bottom part of the fabric. And so we base the quilt together. You can pin based, you can spray based, you can use all different types of adhesive methods, and we put the quilt, the whole thing on to our frame at one time. So this is the traditional way to load onto the little foot frame that the Simply 16 sits on. There's other machines you can actually put onto this frame as well. You can put the Amara onto here if you want a little bit more throat space. The Simply 16 has a 16-inch throat. So from here to here. It comes with a stitch regulator built in, and there's some really great features on here. So I'm going to show you what I can do with this machine, and I just love it. So if Brittany wants to get a little bit closer. The stitch regulator regulates how many stitches per inch we're going to be doing. So right now we have it at 12 stitches per inch. I like my stitches per inch a little bit smaller so that my stitches don't look so wide. So I'm gonna bring it down to 10 stitches per inch. I have needle up and needle down programmable on my home screen here. And I have start stop right here as well. I also have needle up, needle down on my handles. So I'm gonna click start. I get a green light right here. And as I move, the machine starts or stops as I move. So I can get perfectly consistent stitches without having to really be a true professional here. So these are circles that I'm doing.
How easy is that to move? Because you're really strong, so it might be kind of...
It's really, no, it's not. I could do it. So they actually suggest that you do this with one hand anyway and not with both hands. And we teach this kind of stuff in class. So the Simply 16 is a really good option for a lot of people that maybe don't have the space, but that want to be able to have like a long arm style machine in their home. You could put as big as a California King on here, or you could do a wall hanging. The size does not matter. You work in a section at a time. You take your clamps off, you move your quilt to do the next section. You can add robotics to this as well. So if you're interested, you can put the computerized system on here, and you could do custom quilting square by square on the machine as well. So not only do you do free motion, but you can also add the Pro Stitcher software, which we're gonna show you in a little bit, and be able to do all your customized quilting. There's also an attachment called the Little Buddy that allows you to attach it onto the front. It's not very expensive, and you can roll a quilt on here traditional style like some of the other long arm frames that we have. So again, this is the Simply 16 from Handi Quilter. Everything that you see right here is included with it. It's very easy to use. We set it up in your home. It takes no time at all. And we will, and if we ship it directly to you, it's very simple. All you need is a few screwdrivers, and you put the machine on the carriage.
Two screwdrivers and a wrench.
2 screwdrivers and a wrench, Brian says. So what's our pricing on the Capri that we have? So
well, this is, are you switching to
Oh, no.
now?
I meant the Simply.
We haven't actually, for some reason, the Simply is not loaded online.
The Simply's not loaded online. Okay, we'll get you the price.
We'll have the Simply online this afternoon. If you can't wait till this afternoon, just call the store and we'll get that for you. But
I will tell you that the Simply 16 is one of the most popular machines that we sell from Handi Quilter, because when people are first getting started out, they're scared to make a large investment or to have all the space that they, clearing out a 10 or 12 foot space. So a lot of people start here. I will tell you, a lot of people don't stay here. This is a gateway drug machine, kind of like your 5x7 embroidery machine. So once you get started and you can play with how fun and easy it is to do free motion on something like this, you will quickly become addicted, and you will see why people really are addicted to long arm quilting. So this is a really great place to start. You don't need to clear out an entire living room to own one of these. The price point is very low, and it's even lower, and I'll tell you that as we get going and they show you some of the other things we have going on.
And
Anything you
also,
wanna say?
well, I just want to really highlight the frame, because I love the Littlefoot frame, and I love it for a couple reasons. I love it because you don't have to get rid of your dining room to put this one in. You could, if you simply have a guest room or a spare room, you could take our Amara, which is our #1 selling long arm, the 20-inch, and see if you like it. Put it on this frame, and if you do like it, then all you have to do is just very simply take this frame, trade it in, and move up to the 10 or 12 foot frame without committing that much space to it. See, do you like moving the machine? Do you like moving the fabric? Kind of what's your choice?
And there's no limitations to the Simply. Everything that you can do on the other machines, as far as adding a ruler base to do ruler work, adding the Pro Stitcher to do custom work, you can do that all on this machine. The couching feet, everything works on this machine. It's just a different frame system. So it's a really, really good entry point to people that want to quilt their own quilts, not on a domestic machine, and start getting into something like a long arm. So this is a really fabulous machine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially for those of you that are watching that have your domestic on a makeshift long arm frame, I think this is a perfect trade up for those people.
Perfect.
So,
all right, Emily's going to be showing us our next.
This we do have.
Hi, Emily. All right.
Hey, Emily! Yay!
We've got a even bigger live audience. Larry just joined us. But again, hi, Facebook. I'm Emily. I'm going to be showing you the Capri just a little bit. So a little bit more similar, pretty similar to the Simply 16, except it's on a table. So I can sit down at my machine, I don't have to stand. I still have my stitch regulators built into my table. I've got 2 right in here. And I can do my free motion exclusively on here. So I can press play, and same thing. When I am moving, it stitches. When I stop, it stops. So I can turn that off. Exactly. So whenever I move, it stitches. When I stop, it stops for me. And that's what's recognizing on these stitch regulators right here to get my really consistent stitching. Very simple. I can press play on the screen. I can have my needle up and down. I've got all of this space in my table that I can work with really large size quilts. Okay, and I even, this is a standard size table, but it has extensions available as well. So you can have even bigger space that your quilt's not going to hang off.
Ruler work and things like that on there.
Definitely ruler work. You can change the ruler work foot. You've got the table. You can adjust the height of the table as well to get it perfectly fit for your size.
So what are some of the big changes that we've had from the Sweet 16, which was the predecessor, to the new Capri? Because there's some really big things that they changed.
You do have some more space on this one.
So you get an extra 2 inches.
Yep.
What about my stitch regulation?
So there's 2 of them right here, and they're in the table.
Yeah, so that's so if you don't know what Emily's talking about, but you have experienced the old sit-down Handi Quilter, you'll remember that it was only 16 inches, so we get 2 extra inches. You'll also remember, forgive me for saying, that awful puck system that was the magnet that you put on here. And why do I say it was awful? Well, there's several reasons, but one of the biggest ones is if I'm making small movements like this, but with the puck being out here, it looks really big and exacerbated. And so you would lose your stitch regulation
with the big movement.
With the magnet. So now you have 2 stitch regulators that are actually built into the table. So this is, to me, that's the biggest advantage, while still keeping the price very, very, very reasonable. This one we have online, so let's take a look. So you can get this entire package set up as it sits for $64.95. So you can move into a sit-down long arm for under $7,000. In addition to that, you can get, like Emily said, the table extensions, which add another 4 foot or 6 foot, another 4 foot. You can extend this table another 4 feet to accommodate what Emily was talking about, which is some really, really big quilts. So
what about setup and delivery and shipping?
Well, like all of the long arms today and through the rest of this promotion, which ends, I think, at the end of the month.
Screen.
It's not. I'm so.
He wants to be a Weatherman so bad.
I really want this to move by
It's
itself.
like, oh, you think you're on CNN or something?
I know, I'll just point to it. She's getting her jokes in now where I can't retaliate. I will get my jokes in later when she's back on camera. But I'll tell you, we also have one of these machines as a trade-in, and kind of like the Simply, which is a gateway drug, I kind of feel like the sit-down is a gateway drug, going from moving the fabric to wanting to move the head. So this machine was actually used for less than 5 days, and the customer came back, traded it in, and moved up to the Amara, which I think Terry's going to be talking about in a few minutes. So you can actually get this machine at an even larger reduction. So if you're interested in that, give us a call and we'll let you know what this one is.
All right, guys.
Moving to the next.
All right.
Or did you have anything else to add to this?
I really want to talk about some of my favorite features on the Infinity.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're going to skip that one for now because we're going to do the 20 inch.
All right, we're moving to Terry. Go, Terry.
Yay. This is a complete look of surprise. Something that we haven't mentioned yet is that all of our tables here actually have wheels, casters on them, so we're able to move it around our workspace much easier. And also each table is adjustable, so for when I want to demo at like the quilt show, I can actually raise that all the way up so I can stand. And you don't have to use a foot pedal, which is nice. The Capri will work with the foot pedal, or you can just push the play button and control it that way. And you know how I like to just use the buttons on the machine. I have more control and precision that way. This is our Amara with the studio frame, and it is set at 10 feet. We also have the Pro Stitcher connected, and I can show you more about the Pro Stitcher if you come into the store. We can have some fun with that. The Amara itself is 20 inches, and you can add the Pro Stitcher later. So when you're actually looking at our website, you'll see the machine, the table. You can choose the table, you can choose the machine, and the Pro Stitcher, and get a package rate. What I'm going to be showing right now is a couple things, and you may have seen one of our Fun Fridays that we were using the couching feet. And the nice thing about the couching feet is that it comes in to 3 different sizes of feet. And what happens is you actually put the yarn through the hole, and then you come out with this amazing thing that Emily did at one of our...
This was
We love this pillow.
this was a collaboration. We all worked on this.
One of the other feet is the glide foot, and so if you've ever actually quilted a quilt that had 9 patches and where all your bulk seams came together, your foot would sometimes get caught on that edge and throw your stitch off. Well, Handi Quilter came out with a foot that will correct that, and it's called a glide foot number 2. It's a disc, and so what happens is if I was out on this side of the quilt, the round part will actually slide right over the edge. And a traditional one would catch the edge of my fabric, fold it over, and then I would have to try to correct for that. So this foot will actually go over your edges of your fabric and your large seams.
And I'm going to interrupt because I am terrible at basting, so I absolutely have to have that foot, because I usually leave a little bit extra over here, and I don't have to worry about that with my glide foot.
They also have a set of echo feet that you can get either a 1/2 inch to 1 inch, just depending on the different size, and they're all clear so you can actually see the stitches you've already stitched, and then keep an equal distance away from the... But this is my favorite one. And I know that most of you have seen me just with a regular machine where I'll actually put my ruler foot on, and that's what I've done in this case. Traditional foot for this machine is very thin. I can use that for general quilting, free motion quilting, but then what I did was I actually switched the foot, and now I have the ruler foot on the machine. The rulers that go on a long arm are actually almost a 1/4 inch thick, so they're much thicker to compensate for when the foot goes up and down. So I actually buy these when I'm using the another machine. If I'm sitting down at a machine, I always buy long arm rulers because my foot will compensate for that, and I can't say anything other than that. But I will tell you this. If I come over here, I've got a nice little square. If I wanted to do a 1/4 inch match stitch quilting, I can lay my ruler right along the edge of my stitch that I've already put on there, and I can push the play button, and I can just simply pull frontwards. And once I get to there, I can stop. I can actually move right along that stitch to line up to my next one. Right there, I can grab this, push play, and go straight back. Perfect 1/4 inch spacing.
Wow.
And then this one, which everybody wonders why I like this one. If I have this and I'm like this, I can actually create a perfect orange peel effect.
And you have a ruler base on there, Terry?
That's what I was gonna also say. Thank you, Jessica. Because if you've noticed that I'm up here, and it's actually a ruler base that extends out to the side. about 12 inches. So you've got about 6 inches to one side, and then about 4 inches to the front. And all I have to do is just hold my ruler still, and I can get those. But this one is also cool because if you are like me, you know how to draw certain things, but you're not an actual artist. And so when I get over here and I'm trying to do free motion, that's one thing. But if I'm trying to go around outside of applique or something like that, again, I have more control. I can grab my foot with this end, and then I can use my hand to draw with. Push the play button, and then I can just move my...
That's so cool.
I can draw different things better than I can. And all I'm doing is guiding the machine with that particular
It's like an
ruler.
extra handle almost.
Yes.
This is the ruler base that Terry's using on this machine right now. So they make different size ones for different machines. We're using the Amara, which is the 20-inch machine. So this ruler base just snaps on to the bottom of the machine. We have a discount on all of our Handi Quilter accessories right now. Something like this runs about $149, but we have them discounted at 25% off. So the ruler base is a really great addition to any of these machines because you need something to be able to, as you see, it's not falling down like this. He's got a nice stable base, so as the machine moves along, he can keep those rulers up and nice. So this is what he has located, connected underneath the bottom of the machine, just like you see here, this nice clear base.
Did we talk about how he's loaded this into the clear view position for ruler work?
No.
I haven't got to that point yet.
I don't want to jump ahead of you. I don't want to jump ahead.
Keep going, Terry.
I get fixed. So I'm talking about rulers first, so let me finish this one, and then I'll get to the way that we loaded it. Because there are two different ways to load the long arm, and I'll show you the two different ways, but we are actually doing a Handi Quilter Ruler of the Month class here at the store. We do have one of the few, actually the only dealer in the area that has 6 Amaras with pro stitchers in the classroom.
Wow.
So when you purchase here, you can attend classes that we will deal exactly with your particular machine. The other thing about that is that you now have the opportunity in the Ruler of the Month class to have your own machine, and you have an experienced quilter that can come around and help you as you're using the machine. Each month you get a new ruler, and each one is a different style that can help you with your quilting. At the end, you get an extra ruler for being a participant in the Handi Quilter class. I just wanted to show you a little bit of the rulers that we have this time. It starts in March, but we've been having some issues here as far as distance, and it's kind of hard to teach people if we can't get up close. So we are still doing this. You can still participate. 6 rulers for $149, and we will go through March, April, May, June, July, August. And then I'm working right now on getting the directions for this quilt, and each of these blocks correlate with the ruler that we're going to be using. So this is going to help you out quite a bit for the ruler work classes. Now, there are 2 different ways to load your quilt. One way is the standard way, and most of you will probably have this set up at your house. And then with the complete horizontal look, and then the clear view way. Now the cool thing about this is that I can actually just grab this, lift this up, and put it into the standard view. But now look at the different way the fabric is hanging on the machine. By having it in this clear view way, you actually have everything very close, and I actually can get closer to my work compared to the standard way, which is going to be out just a little further. Is there an advantage of one over the other? I think it just depends on the style that you quilt in.
What about the rulers though? Because That's why I like this. I never see any reason to load a quilt any other way than besides this. But can you show them why the ruler work is so important to have it loaded in this fashion?
As you're coming to the front, you actually will be able to come further, and I don't have to lean into the machine to be able to get to where I'm working at. And
it also allows your ruler.
My ruler will come completely straight and flat to my ruler base and my top bar. Look over to the infinity, which is in the standard view, and you've got all the and you now have the roller bars that will actually stop you from being able to come further forward, and
Right.
your creativity is kind of a little bit different there.
Do you ever load it like this anymore, Terry? This is
No.
probably how you were trained to load it, though.
No, I was actually trained at the Clearview way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so the standard way is the easiest way to kind of picture the way that these leaders are put on, because they waterfall inwards. The difference is the way the leaders are put on to that machine. But I can show you, it took me probably less than 5 minutes to switch it from clear view to standard view. So if you're looking for different ways to load this, I can simply pull this frontward, and this whole section goes down. I take off my leader because they're on with Velcro, and I just switch it the other direction, and I'm good to go. So they're very easy, and I will show you all this, especially if you purchase here at Dallas. Brian's much
So how much can I get the Amara for? So if I want to call up to the store, go online and get the Amara, what's the price on this now?
Well, let us go over to the computer.
Vanna, could you show us?
You're talking, Alice.
Okay, we've got a much younger, prettier Vanna White.
Brian!
So
I love Vanna.
I do tend to make the rounds at some of the quilt shows across the United States, and the Handi Quilters right now are actually at a really good price, because normally I'd see them maybe at $11.99, maybe $12,500, but right now they're $8,995.
And then there's multiple choices, and tell them about shipping and all that, Brian.
So let's go to our setup and delivery. Let's go ahead and click down on there and talk about what we can save. So it's always free to pick up in the store, of course. However, you do normally pay a shipping charge. So they're heavy, they're palletized, we pay shipping. It's usually like around $400 to $600 depending on what machine you get. But free in-store pickup now. In addition, with the show special, you're able to get free home delivery, which is normally $600. And then on top of that, we have a white glove delivery service. So what that means is that myself or one of our wonderful technicians will come to your house, deliver the machine, take away any old machine you may have, but also go ahead and install it. It's wonderfully easy. It's meant for a home consumer to be able to go ahead and put the frame together. Like Jessica said earlier, it's only two screwdrivers or 2 Allen wrenches and a regular wrench, but we can go ahead and do that for you, make sure that everything is level, everything is set up properly. Then we'll also go ahead, load it for you, and give you kind of a quick tutorial, how to thread it, how to do your basting stitches, how to do all of the things that you need to do to get up and running before you can come to the store, get on our machines, and start playing for yourself. So that's an additional $1,000 savings.
What about financing?
What about financing?
Yeah.
Do we have financing for
Oh,
this?
we've got financing.
What is financing?
We've got 36 months of interest available.
3 years, no interest on this. Wow. So I think, so what, that means a couple things to you probably. One, that it's no longer like buying a cheap car. Now it becomes way, way more affordable. If you're thinking about doing any of these machines for a business, we've run the numbers, and if you do even 2 quilts a month, that's enough to go ahead and pay for the most expensive machine we have, which is the 26-inch Infinity.
Emily's going to show you
That
next.
Emily's going to show you next. Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so again,
Wow. She pops out of everywhere.
these prices are on our website, but if you call us, we will make you even more better deals, I believe, right? More better special.
Well, I'm not even sure that's a real way to phrase it. More better?
It's more better here at the Stitch House.
I think there may be some accessories or gift cards, or maybe some additional stuff that we're not able to talk
There's
about
things.
online.
So
but you
give
might
us
want
a
to
call.
Yeah.
Okay. Now so we've shown you some basic things so far. We started with the Simply 16, which is a great free stitching machine that has a stitch regulator and doesn't take up much space. We've started with our 2 gateway drugs, the Simply and the Capri. We also showed you how to do ruler work on the Amara. So we showed you, assuming that you didn't have a Pro Stitcher or a computerized program, what you could do with something without software. But now, Emily is going to show you on the Infinity, her favorite thing to do, which is use the software to really make her quilts pop. So, Emily, take it away. Yay!
Hey, Emily, before you talk about it, can you just touch on the one long arm that we actually don't have in the store because we sold our demo model the other day?
The Forte.
Can you mention that we have at least this one?
Okay, so we have the Amara and we have the Infinity, but we have one in between too. We've got an in-between size, it's the Forte, and it's 24 inches of throat space, okay? And we've got special pricing on that too.
We do. So what I like to tell people is that if I'm only going to do free motion work, unless you're a former WNBA basketball player, 20 inches is probably about as far as you're going to want to get. Just because you start to bend over really far in a 20-inch throat space kind of is about as much as you need for your free motion. If you're going to move to automation, then it makes a real big difference to be able to go to either the 24-inch Forte or what Emily's going to be talking about here in just a second, which is the 26-inch Infinity. The Forte, 100% like the Amara. So it's the exact same machine. It's just a 24-inch throat space as opposed to a 20-inch throat space. And it actually comes loaded on the gallery frame as opposed to the studio frame. But what Emily's going to touch on is the Infinity next, and that is an entirely different machine. It's got a different motor, different speeds. It's a totally different machine. So a lot of different advantages other than just being 26-inch huge throat space. So go ahead, Emily.
All right, thanks, Brian. And also Terry wanted me to show you one thing. And I'm going to put Brian on the spot because I think all of our machines in this shop need a handy hammock. So you're going to notice something. This machine has our batting floated.
Well, how does it normally look, though, Emily?
Well, normally
like
it's really
this.
dirty.
We're normally stepping on it
Oh, no,
and
no,
rolling
no,
around
no.
on it.
Yeah, but I painstakingly put
We-
that underneath there so it can look nice for the video.
So we really need a handy hammock on here because look how nice this is. All of our quilt batting, our backing, well, just our batting can hang right in here off the floor so that when we snip our threads and kind of just toss them to the side like I do at home, I'm not going to pick those up in my batting. So the handy hammock is a really essential accessory for any of your handy quilters.
It really is, and I know that probably most of your crafting rooms are completely clean. There's not a single thing out of place.
Right.
But that hammock just helps get one more thing out of place.
Yes. So so that is a really great option as well. Okay, so they're not wrong. I really love the automation. I've got about, I'm going to say on a modest size of maybe I have 11 quilt tops at home, so I have a lot of work to still do. So the automation is going to get my quilts quilted much faster than free motion. But I also like to fit in free motion and my automation at the same time to really give awesome effects. But you can see how cool some of this automation is. We can do edge to edge, and we can also do block to block. So Brittany would probably come in a little bit closer. So I've got my Pro Stitcher on my Handy Quilter right on the machine. So I have really easy access to it. So before I even talk about kind of the designs that are in the machine, I'm going to talk about locking with my channel locks. So Terry, would you grab my indigo quilt so I can have it over here, they can see it? If I want to, I especially use this when I'm basting. I just mentioned a couple minutes ago, I'm terrible at basting. So I can use my channel locks and I can use my horizontal and my vertical to do my basting really perfect and get that straight. But I can also do straight line quilting just by tapping my channel locks. So I can go across, I can go down, and I can continue to set that so that my machine isn't moving. I'm actually being a little aggressive on this, and it's not moving. It's locked into place, and I can unlock it, and I've got my free motion, and I can lock it again, and it's gonna continue to go in a horizontal line. So for all you modern quilters out there and want to do straight line quilting, but don't wanna hurt your backs on your domestic machines, this is a really great option. Thank you, Terry. So I can unlock that. And I've got some shapes out here that might be kind of standard to your quilt blocks. So like I said, Terry's gonna show you the edge to edge, and I love doing that, but I can also stitch block by block. And I can show you how I'm gonna do that. What you got, Brian?
I just want to highlight just how easy she's moving this. And the gears are engaged, right?
The gears are engaged.
And look at this. One finger still moves that. And if you're interested in a long arm, you've probably done a lot of research and a lot of hands-on, I guess, demos at different stores.
This one's really easy to move.
You cannot do this with a lot of machines. And when she starts to go in here and show you how she's going to mark out her triangles or her squares, she's going to show you just how important that is to be able to have total freedom of control while the gears are engaged.
That's right. Again, I've got access to all of my automation right on my screen. Even if I'm going to be changing my stitch length or my any of those things I have right here. So I don't have to go to the side of my machine. But I'm going to pick a design, and I'm going to fit a design right into this triangle. So you can see on my screen I've got a really big design area, and I've got this triangle here. I'm going to rotate it because I know this is the block that I'm trying to fit it into. So I can modify really easily. I know exactly what I'm kind of shooting for. And we are going to teach you all these things in the classes as well. So I can go 45 until I get to the position I want it. And that's how I want that to go. And now I'm going to have it actually skew and fit a line right into my block here. So if I want to go to I'm still in modify. I'm going to select this block here. And here's my area now. And I can go to multi-point. So that's my first point. And just like Brian said, I can really easily move my sew head to the points that I'm looking for, just like that. And you can see over here, that is my sewing area on the machine. I can go to home and I can see that more clearly.
Are you using a laser?
There is a laser built on.
It's built in, so that's not an extra add-on, huh? It's not.
Nope.
That comes with it. It's built into the machine.
All right, so now I can head right here. I can go to a line, and I'm going to, what did we do earlier? This one. Did you see how perfectly that's now gonna fit into my triangle? I know exactly where it's gonna be because the Pro Stitcher is engaged and I've told it. Beautiful. Okay, so I can stitch that out. Terry's gonna teach me a cool baseline thing again. Let's see if I remember. If I go to baseline.
Yeah, and then just go to area and clear, and you can
now I can see where I'm stitching. All right.
Exact pattern.
So when I'm going to Pro Stitcher, the machine's gonna do everything for me. I'm gonna run this, and I've got my settings. It's gonna tell me to verify it. I'm gonna say, yeah, let's go for it. And I'm rocking and rolling. Perfect points. It stops so that I can cut. I've already done that. I'm gonna read what the screen says and I can keep going.
And that would go ahead and stitch out the whole thing.
It'll stitch out the whole thing. And we are live, and I've run out of bobbin there. So I'm going to show you how I would do the, I don't really need it, Brian. So now I can show you how I would do the on-point square. I can clear my workspace, and now I have a fully clear workspace again. I can pick another design. Maybe I want this 4 square. So right now we've got just like a regular square option, and I want to fit it into here. So I can do the exact same thing. I can modify my shape. I can rotate it. Now I have it on point. So this is one reason why you might want to consider going to the infinity. If you've got some quilt blocks that when you turn on point actually stretch and you're going to use that whole throat space, sometimes your on point blocks really need more space so that you can do your automation in there. This one's still pretty small, so I don't have to worry about that so much, but I have had some quilts that I've needed more throat space so that I could get my blocks on point. So now I need to do my multi-point just like I did the other one.
How easy was that to change the bobbin?
That was easy.
You might,
And that's not the magic of TV, folks.
You may not.
It's really that easy.
we really, yes, we just changed the bobbin. All right, so multi-point, I'm gonna start right here. I can really easily connect my points. And this is a 4-point block. You might wonder, you know, can I do something more extreme? Yes, you can, and I am going to show you that in just a moment. So I'm gonna pull my thread just a little bit.
Let's center that house again.
And you can see what I've got on the screen. This is where my design kind of uploaded, but this is where my sew head is, right here. So I've just mapped that out. So
It's not there yet.
it's not there yet.
You haven't put it into it.
No, I know, I'm about to. So I'm going to put this right where I want it. So I can go to my Skew, and let's see if Skew 1 works for me. Did you see that?
Wow, that's awesome.
Beautiful. So all of my points are exactly where they need to be. Do we want to stitch this out, or do we want to move on?
Stitch it.
Stitch it out.
Stitch it. Yeah, I didn't load that bobbin for nothing.
All right. So again, I can go to my Pro Stitcher. This is very easy. I can go to run. It's going to tell me my settings. I'm going to say, yes, it looks great.
Yeah.
And I am going to bring my bobbin up. Beautiful. Thank you, Brian. And then it is going to stop for me. I always get ahead of the game. And it's got stopped so I can trim my thread. And I can resume.
But what I think is, let him talk to me about that. That's brand new.
Beautiful.
Now it's doing its tie-off stitches. We could, I think that we have, if I look on here for Pro Stitcher, if I look at my settings, I have cut thread off. The Infinity will actually cut the thread for you. So that's another feature. If we wanted to have that, had that turned
And
on,
that's
it would have
totally
gone ahead.
different. It's the only one that'll do that.
This is the only one that does that. What I think is really neat is you saw how quickly this stitched. It has something called OptiStitch that they've recently updated on there. And what that does is it's going to go ahead and read the design and optimize the speed of the sew head and the acceleration of the sew head to perfectly match the design and do it as fast as it can. Now you can obviously customize that if you want to turn down the acceleration coming out of the corners, if you're more concerned with getting a couple micro stitches in each of those points, or if I want to go ahead and just, in the store, quite frankly, we don't want to run through 100 quilts a day, so we turn the speed down so we can have it running. But that OptiStitch is really nice. It optimizes the design for you.
One other thing I want to say, we just kind of sailed right past that empty bobbin, but if I wanted to recover that bobbin, I could have done that really easily. So we can teach you how to do that in the classes. There's a really easy way that you can pick a new start and end. So no problems with that, okay?
Can I say something?
Terry's got something for you.
Oh,
while I
Terry's
pull-
itching.
Go Terry.
So, you've painstakingly went around your block here, and now you've quilted it. You can actually stitch in the ditch, all with one push of a button here. It says trace area or trace bounds. I'm going to say trace area, and then I'm
But-
going to push play proceed. It's going to move up, and it's going to give me a chance to pull up my thread, which, you know, I was so excited I never even paid attention. So I'm going to push resume. Now, depending on how much time Emily took, it's going right down that same stitch. So
Wow.
now I'm able to stitch in the ditch without using a ruler. And you can actually set it to lock stitch at a different amount, but this is I want to show you the other cool thing, because I don't really know too much, but I do know some things that are cool here. So
He's being humble.
remember, we just changed our bobbin case right in the middle. So over on the Amara, what I would do is I would then pull the machine over to the side, and I'd test my tension, and I'd peel the quilt up so I could test and make sure that my tension was right. Because I've done that where I've got the bobbin thread caught in the bobbin latch and did a whole design, and it didn't go too well. But what I can do with the Infinity is go to this little black bar at the top. There's a little movie camera. Push the movie camera.
Well,
Right
that was
about.
going to be. I was going to talk about that, Terry. But tell about your favorite features.
So this is if you look real close, you can see this was our orange bobbin right here, and see how nice and perfectly straight that is. So that's telling me I have a good chance that, you know, that's good tension. I would have also been able, so right here I think I probably got a little.
You mean we don't have to use a mirror
No.
or get on our hands and knees to look underneath?
Well,
our
you still
tension?
can. You don't have to stop the things you love.
I want to do.
I am trying to give everybody an equal opportunity. I'm an equal opportunity employer here. So, you know, I am like, so I felt so bad 2 days ago, but I can guarantee you I'm feeling really good right now. So
We're live.
if you saw me live a couple days ago, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So anyway, so I can actually check all my tensions from the backside this way. And but here's the other cool thing. I don't know if you noticed right off at the bat when we were geared towards here. You've got a halo light. Look how nice that is. But guess what? I can actually have more light if I choose to, and they're
gosh.
called highlights. And we're gonna what?
It
Oh,
just-
look at that.
Wow.
So now I have a light all the way across my entire bed, and you can set them up to 12 foot, 10 foot, whichever size that you'd like, and we won't ask anybody else about that. But
And you can set it up with a clapper if you like. But I don't think they could see with that on. Yeah.
There you go.
Cool.
and so all I have to do is just turn this back off, and it says close right there, and then do that. So, Emily.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So this was impressive, certainly. But I'm going to show you how to fit a square block into this pentagon. So this is where I think you can really customize your quilts. So again, I'm going to clear out my workspace here, and I can move my sew head really easily to this top point. I'm going to actually, I have some designs that I use a lot, but if I was going to open up a design, I've got loads and loads and loads of designs to choose from. Can you see that, Brittany? So I can pick any of these designs to work with, and it's very, very cool. This is just in one section that I've got blocks. I can do continuous lines, I can do corners, I can do triangles, and that's just a teeny tiny amount that's on here. There's all kinds. So I'm going to cancel out of there and pick my block 17. So this is a block that you can see that it does have a square shape and outline. I'm gonna get it to fit into this pentagon. So we can stay on the screen because I'm gonna have it skewed, but I'm gonna do kind of the same thing that we've been doing. I'm gonna go to my area and I'm gonna continue to select my multi-point. So I can easily move my sew head around this pentagon, and we can pretend this is a quilt block, right? Brian's right. I take these things for granted. The laser is really nice. Okay, so you can see on my screen I've got my square design here, and I've got my pentagon shape that I've just outlined on my quilt. So, same exact process. If I want to go to modify it, and I want to go to skew it, I can select that and check that out. Now I get something totally kind of unexpected. Do I get claps for this? This is really cool.
Okay. All you gotta do is ask.
That's right.
I couldn't see it. We haven't centered the screen yet.
Well,
Oh, wow. Yes, that's very cool.
so that's cool. And you can take all kinds of things on Pro Stitcher, and we can teach you in the classes, but you can crop designs, you can rotate, you can skew.
What does Skew 1 do? Did it change it?
You might not like Skew 1. Let's see what it does. See, that one you still kind of get a square shape, so you've got options. Some designs work better as Skew 1, and some work better in Skew 2. This one doesn't quite fill the whole shape, but I can try that out and see if I like this one better.
That's cool.
I like the other one better.
Janie, it doesn't fill the block. So those are a couple things that you can do with the Pro Stitcher. Terry, do you want to show them the edge to edge before we move on to the free motion?
Sure. So I'm gonna come to the File tab. I'm just going to push Clear All so my whole screen is empty. I've put my top on. I've basted the top edge, and now I'm going to move my needle laser point to the top left, and I am going to go to area and do a 2-corner. Why a 2-corner? Well, I don't have enough length to actually go through my whole entire quilt, so I'm going to go all the way over to the right side, and then I am going to push the 2-corner.
No, you gotta come all the way down.
Well, you can do it. I know things. If I do this, if I go like this is fine. As long as my needle is in the top right side and I come north, I can do a 2-corner that way also. Do you want to tell them about the handles?
Sure. One of the nice things you'll see on the Infinity is that I have total customization on my handles. They can come in, they can go out, I can move them up or down here. And why that's important is that, one, I create something that's ergonomically comfortable for myself. But two, if I was, let's say for example, moving from the capri, where I'm used to moving the fabric, and now I decide I want to move to putting the long arm on a frame, where I'm moving the head, I may want to put my handles like this to more closely resemble what I'm used to, which is having my hands in this position and moving around. So again, lots of different options, but the handles are totally customizable in direction and as well as buttons. You can customize these buttons to do a lot of different things. Cut the thread, needle up, needle down, tie off, anything you like.
Cool. That's a good tip.
That's a good tip, yeah. I like that.
Do you
So,
want to talk about pricing, Brian?
Well, I don't think we're there yet.
No,
Terry's got a lot more things he
no,
knows.
this is
Jessica's
just
there.
gonna.
Jessica just wants to sell the machine. If you heard our last video, remember when you call Jessica, credit card and zip code, and she'll have you off the phone in under 30 seconds.
Okay, so when you actually put your quilt up on here, the only number you need to know is how long the quilt is. So right now, our quilt is 82 inches wide. I simply go, and you can just get right up on the screen.
I see what you're doing, Terry. That's clever.
So all I have to do is just say my quilt is 90 inches. And now I don't see anything on the screen until I push refresh or the house. And there's my quilt. That distance there is the distance of my top exactly. Now I can come back into the file, I can grab a design, and over here where it says open, we actually have continuous line designs from Handi Quilter. And I can take any one of these and put them in. So let's say we wanted to do a modern thing, we're just gonna push that circle and say open. That little tiny circle over there, I can go to repeat and push this button that says fill.
Whoa.
And now my quilt is filled. So obviously you would never probably do that tiny of a circle. So if I just push undo, I can go back to file, design, and I can see if there was something else that I'd like to use. And so we can just get this little one here and say, okay. And so there's one, but look at that little circle one is still there. I can go to...
Is there a way to use that circle still though, Terry, and just make them bigger really easily?
Yes, there is, and but I want to show them how to fill the pattern quick. So I'm just going to do this one, repeat, fit, and now I can do this little button here that says point to point. My quilt now is ready to quilt, and when I push start, it's going to start at this green button and do that whole section. But believe it or not, if I didn't want the space in between those lines, I just go to the horizontal and push the minus sign for the gap, and see how I've lost my point to point here. Now I can go to vertical and get rid of that gap, and I can actually shrink it down to a point where it looks pretty balanced all the way across. And then I can add more rows to fill my quilt, and then I am done. And all I have to do is push start, and it will quilt my whole quilt, less than 5 minutes.
We have a question from our live audience.
Okay.
So,
That's a first time.
so Janie wanted to know, what if I wanted to change colors of the thread midway through? And I said, well, at any time you could certainly stop and change your spool, but that's another reason why I really like doing the block to block, because I'm focusing on one portion at a time. So maybe it won't be quite as efficient, but we're doing a custom quilt. So I've got the ability to do whatever I want. And if I want to change colors, then I can.
The other really nice thing, Janie, is if, let's say that you wanted to change colors every row, you can go ahead and program your Pro Stitcher to stop on the long jump stitch. So once it gets done with one single row, it would stop and allow you a chance to go ahead and change that thread. Very, very easy.
And the other thing is if I just did this first flower and I wanted to stop right after the first flower and change my thread, I could easily do that just because it stopped. And then in the Pro Stitcher, there's a button that says start, stop, and I can actually move it a couple stitches where I stopped at, and then it will restart. But the nice thing about this is that, because we're talking about different colors, if you pay attention to your tension right at the start, so I always practice my tension, I can put a different color in the bottom and a different color in top and do a two-tone quilt just as easy as I can to others. Especially with the OptiStitch program, it senses the pattern and everything that you can actually do two tones.
So what do you love about this, Terry? Because earlier I touched on the fact that this is actually an entirely different machine than the Simply or the Amara or the Forte. This, from the inside and out, is entirely different. So what are some of the things that are different on the inside of this, or that this comes with, that none of the other machines do?
Well, you have the option for that little camera, which is really helpful, especially when you get my age and can't get back up off the floor.
And it comes with that, right?
And it comes with it. And then you also have the laser pointer in there that you can actually be more precise exactly where you want to be. The interesting thing is that this is a right-handed and a left-handed machine. Actually, when you go into the screen itself, the Infinity Plus screen, you can actually go into settings and change the play button from this side to over here. And so you can run it from the opposite hand, which is kind of nice, especially so you don't have to do it like I do it. You can do it the way you like. The other cool thing is Brian's leading me through my little spiel, is the lights, the lighting system itself. Earlier, I said that you had this nice halo light area, and it goes all the way back to the back, but you can actually turn those off and adjust those to how you would like. And so if you have,
I have UV turned on. There you go.
so if you have the light on and you went to, you can actually see that laser perfectly if you're looking straight down through there. And then you can turn that back on and move on to where other places that you're looking.
And then sometimes our rulers reflect that light really bad too.
Yes, and so you can adjust the that particular. Oh, you know,
The UV, do you use the UV for anything else? Like maybe, what if I had monofilament or something? Would that help me?
I would imagine it would. This guy here, he's a quilter. So let me tell you this. I have, there is polyester embroidery thread on here because I've quilted on the Infinity with polyester embroidery thread. I've also used the Quilter Select monofilament, which is a stronger brand of monofilament. And the cool thing about it is like he was saying, is that if you do turn this off, you actually can see the thread, the monofilament easier without all the light distracting you. And I've used silk thread, I've used pretty much anything. And the thicker the thread, you just put a thicker needle in, and it really does do some really cool stuff. And I'm a software person, so a lot of times if you bring your laptop in and you have software on there, if I have a couple minutes, I can actually figure the program out. But there's two programs now for the Pro Stitcher. The first one is Art and Stitch, and that one I can actually take some of those really cool embroidery designs, quilting designs into this Art and Stitch program.
That's cool.
It's called.
It's Handi Quilter Designer.
Yes.
Plus, now that's
So
gone.
here's the cool thing, okay, everybody? You may have this, but if you go to the Handi Quilter website for $200, you can get upgraded to the brand new program that's on all of our classroom machines.
True. Or if you buy a machine from us during this promotion period,
Yes.
that new program, which is normally I think $600 or $900, is coming for free. So an additional savings that comes with your machine. And what's really cool about that is the fact that Art and Stitch is not proprietary to any particular long arm. It's actually an embroidery software, and most of the other long arm companies have adopted that or put that with their machines or allowed you to do buy an add-on. But the new Handi Quilter software is proprietary. It's made just for the Handi Quilter. It's optimized for your Pro Stitcher. So that's a really cool freebie.
Yes. And so I can actually open designs in the designer now and utilize 3 buttons to save a quilting design that I can then come over here and stitch out. And it's sort of like what Brian did with the older program. He brought in the Dallas Skyline. So if you've ever seen the Dallas Skyline
Yes.
embroidered or sewn out on the quilt, Brian was the one that done that.
You go, Brian. That was great.
Hey, I know some things too. So I'm getting this sign, but I don't normally do film. What does this mean?
This means
Oh.
wrap it up,
This
Brian.
means
Oh.
we
We
So-
have a promotion.
Okay,
So
so
in my defense,
How
I
you-
want you to
well-
think back.
so before I wrap it up, I am going to tell you some of the reasons why this machine is different, why it's more expensive than the rest. It is more than the 26-inch throat space. You get the rear handlebars and control that's included. It moves up to 3,200 stitches a minute. And what does that mean? I've heard other companies say, oh, we can go 4,000. What they don't tell you is they can't stitch that. The machine will move that fast, but you can't do it with thread. So neither here nor there. I'm not going to talk bad about
These are
anybody,
made in the United States,
but-
manufactured.
Yeah.
But this does run with thread, 3,200 stitches a minute. Why that's important is because if you like free motion work and you start to get really good at it, so if you come to any of our Handi Quilter events and see Adam cannot stitch on any of these other machines because he outruns the stitch regulation. So believe me, 3,000, 3,200 sounds like a lot, but the more you do of this, you need to have that additional speed.
So I first thought that this was actually computerized, but this is Adam's free motion work.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful.
That's gorgeous.
And he moves fast.
He goes faster than the Pro Stitcher at times. So you have that. You also have the piston-driven internal motor. That's all brand new. The drive. Everything from the inside and out is different on this machine and better. If you want to call and get the long-winded answer, because I'm still getting this, I'll give it to you. But how much are we doing the Infinity for?
Okay, so the Infinity MSRP is $26,249. We have it listed for $15,495 right now. You have options in your frame size here. Brian,
I've got 10 and 12 foot.
10 and 12 foot frames. That's with the gallery frame. So that's the larger frame, the nicer frame that has where the clear view is not optional, so it's all included there. You can add the Pro Stitcher to it as well. That's reduced down to $89.95, and that all includes free setup and delivery, free shipping from Handi Quilter. So Handi Quilter will ship this directly to your home, or you could pick it up in the store, but they could ship it directly to your home, or we could deliver it for you. And I see Jesse walking over right now. He has no idea that we're talking about him. But Jesse is our Handi Quilter. Brian is too. Handi Quilter certified technician, and he is a fabulous technician.
So he's actually a fabulous technician. I am certified, but if you let me work on your machine, it'll be coming back for Jesse to fix it.
Jesse, before we get off Facebook Live, we were just talking about you. Can you tell everybody one of your favorite things about the long arm, or how easy it is for you to set it up once you get going, or what you do when you come to their homes?
And FYI, I think you got $2,000 to set up.
So this is Jesse.
Hi guys.
Hi, Jesse.
They're not too difficult to set up. It is a little bit of a process. Takes a couple hours, but they're a lot of fun once you get them set up and running. They are very easy to use and very easy to interface with. So.
Thanks, Jesse.
Throw him right to the wolves.
All right.
All right, so do we have anything else in closing, Jess?
Yeah, talk about our support and how to contact us.
She loves to hear me say I don't know the store's phone number or hers. I'm going to learn them both at some point. I know the website address is shopstitchhouse.com. That has all the information you need to know. But the biggest advantages of buying from us is not the in-home delivery. It's not the fact that we have nationally trained Handi Quilter experts here. It's not the fact that we can offer the best pricing, or in my opinion, have truly the best staff.
Or have someone troubleshoot your technical problems when you need to.
Yep, we can do all that stuff, but it's the classroom. The only other place you're going to get a Handi Quilter classroom is in Salt Lake City, where these are made. And you'd have to fly out there, spend thousands of dollars for the weekend. But if you buy a machine from us, you get to let your Handi Quilter sit at home, and you get to come here, and instead of having lecture demo where we have one single machine and 12 people for ruler work, and you all just get to share a machine, now we have a classroom, full automation, custom made frames, and you guys get to play hands-on and learn, and that's all included for the lifetime of your machine. As long as you have a Handi Quilter that you bought from us, you get to come to these classes and
eat.
learn. And Jamie says and eat. That's not on the free classes, Jamie. But so those are the reasons that I think you should buy from us, aside from just the pricing. Buy from a dealer that's going to support you and teach you to use it.
And then the last thing in closing is that we have this really awesome program going on right now called our Good Neighbor Block. And the Good Neighbor Block is a weekly block tutorial where Emily, Terry, and myself will be showing you all kinds of different techniques to put together these really awesome blocks. We called it the Good Neighbor Block because we want to highlight different areas here in the Dallas-Fort Worth community that make us a home. But the best part is that at the end, you're going to have a fully finished quilt top. You'll have 9 different quilt blocks with the sashings. You're going to bring them here to the store, and you're going to be able to individually load them on to our educational frames, our Amaras with Pro Stitchers, and we're going to teach you how to edge-to-edge quilt your quilt. We're going to include the backing, the batting and the binding for only, I think it's what, $18 or something
I think
like
it's
that?
26, but
It's 18. Brian wants it to be 26. I think it's $18.
It's under $20.
It's about $18 on mine. That includes your backing, your binding, and your batting, plus thread, needles, and all that kind of good stuff we'll have here for you. All you have to do is bring your finished quilt top, which we're going to teach you how to do on YouTube, load it up on our machines, and we're going to go from start to finish, so you will have a completely finished quilt. I will warn you, it will really get you addicted to using a computerized program to quilt your quilts. That's the whole purpose. But we are going to have fun while we do it.
so you mean to tell me that you're getting a full quilt for $70?
Yeah. And we're teaching you how to do the whole thing.
Oh my God.
And you don't have to send it off anywhere.
Times are tough, but I didn't know they were that tough.
And you don't have to send it off anywhere. And we hope what this does is it gets a lot of our customers quilting again. And so a lot of us have gotten stuck in saying we're just embroidering now, or we're just doing certain types of projects. But quilting is really, really fun, and we can mix a lot of different styles, from computerization to AccuQuilt to using our big fancy luminaires to quilt these machines using lasers. So that's the end goal, that we bring together all of these really cool things into one finished project for you guys at the end. So again, we have the best pricing on Handi Quilter right now through April 30th on our website. We'd love to help you get involved in a Handi Quilter. It's a great thing to do at home when you don't have much to do. There's lots of time to play and load it up, and we're all here to help you. Do you guys have anything else to say?
Someone told me this morning that with the Good Neighbor block, they felt like they were part of the community again.
Yes.
So I heard today, this feels like we're still connected. So that's the whole idea, along as getting you in to play on our machines. We want to kind of stay connected because we don't have our events happening like we usually do.
So you can buy our Good Neighbor block on our website, Shop Stitch House. You can sign up for the finishing class for only $18 at Shop Stitch House. Brian didn't know that. And
No,
you-
they are filling up. So.
They are filling up. And you can also take advantage of all the best pricing Handi Quilter has to offer right now, that they never let us advertise this pricing. They never let us go this low with free shipping through April 30th. But the faster you act, the better. We only throw in more things the quicker for the first few people. So give us a call, send us a message, and we'd be happy to help. And thank you to our live audience.
Thanks,
Yay! Thanks, guys.